Now what you want to do is, because the outside of the walls are attached to the base, that's okay on the outside, but on the inside, it is basically completely unsupported. So I'm going to take a squirt bottle, just a couple squirts on the table to get it wet. And I'm going to take this coil and just roll it out. And if you see that one side is getting thinner, then you just slowly move to the other side. So now I have this nice long coil, and I'm just gonna put it on the inside just to measure for now. And it fits great. As you can see, I have a little bit of extra coil, so I'm just going to get a knife and just take a little bit of that off. So then I'm going to take the coil out again. And I'm going to score the part of the coil, the side of the coil, that is touching the inside of the cylinder. And then I'm going to score the inside of the cylinder too. Now I'm going to slip both the base and the wall on the inside, along with the side that I've slipped on the coil. So they are both scored and slipped. I'm going to set it on the inside. And now I've just set it in there. And I'm now going to just gently push it in. And while I'm pushing in, I'm taking the hand that I'm not using, keeping it on the outside. So as I push the coil, the wall is not going to get deformed. So I've pushed it into the wall and down onto the base. And now ready to blend. So I'm going to take my rib and start to blend. And again, I'm doing that by pushing up and in all different directions. And now, depending on the size of your cylinder, the rib might be too big to fit inside and smooth. So you can also take this wooden tool that has a rounded end and a flat, slightly curved end. It works just like a rib. You just push up, making sure that all of the slip is gushing out in a way. And it's okay while you're blending this right now. It's okay if it's not perfectly smooth, because you can go back around with your finger and get those rough edges smoothed out. Now, I have pushed it up all the way around, and then I'm going to go on to the bottom and do the same thing. So I've done that along the top and bottom now, along the inside of the walls and base. And now, because it is all rough on the inside, I am going to take my finger, just go around, smoothing things out. So I have successfully blended this all the way around. So it almost looks like there was no coil. And now, as you can see on the inside, there is a seam from where I wrap the slab around the form. What I'm going to do is very similar to what I just did, putting the coil around the base. So I'm going to. I just so happen have some extra coil from my previous coil. I'm going to use that. But you can always make a new coil if you don't have enough extra. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's long enough, and it is. And I'm going to score the coil and where the seam is. So I have scored both where the seam is and the side of the coil. I'm going to slip that by dabbing. Then going to attach and press it together. Then I can either use the wooden tool, the rib, or your finger to just blend it. And then I have blended that part. Now it looks like there's almost no seam where I have connected it. So I've done the inside, and I'm just looking for some marks that I might not have completely smoothed out. Just going back over, making sure it's looking the way I want it to look. And now I'm also going around the outside, getting off all the little pieces of clay, smoothing that out also. You can also just take your rib, go along the outside. And now while I'm ribbing, I'm putting the opposite hand on the inside so it's not pushing in. And then I've gone all the way around doing that. I'm just double checking everything. And then it is just about done. Now, what your next step would be is to get the rim the way you want it to look. Now this takes a while because you want it to be even, which you can do by either taking a knife and cutting off the parts that aren't quite even, or you can use just your finger and continue to smooth it out. I've already completed this one, and as you can see, the edges on the inside and outside of it are smooth. And so once you're finished doing the edges and just again looking over and making sure that all your edges are neat, clean, there are no seams, you are basically done. And this is how you do a cylinder technique.